Okay, this is the training for InCopy on how to use styles and also just general InCopy use. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just look at the workspace of InCopy and look at the different tools that are available to you. So right now I don't have any documents open, any assignments or anything. The first thing that I recommend everyone does is up here where it says Essentials is to change that to Advanced. And what that does is gives you the Advanced workspace, which if you see you've got some palettes over here now, and it's more what you need. It's got all the tools that you would ever need as a listing specialist or as an editor in InCopy. So I recommend you change it to Advanced. So just like Word or any other program, you have your menu bar up here with the different choices, and then this is a control bar which comes in handy. You don't really use that until you have an actual file open, so I'll point out some things when we have a file open. And then over here you've got, this is called your toolbar, and I'll talk about those tools in a minute too. And then over here are your different panels where you can open assignments and do other things. So the first thing we're going to do is look at a story, and then after that we're going to look at listings and grids. So when a designer tells you that their file is ready to go, they should have created an assignment file for you. So if you go to the book folder in Chamber, there should be a folder called Assignments, and if there's not, ask your designer to make it, because that's where the file should be. You should never have to go into the InCopy file, because if you open just an InCopy file, you won't see the layout or see how long things are. So you should always open the assignment file. So, and we have here Arts and Culture. This is an Albuquerque spread. So we'll wait for that to open. Okay, so when you first open a file, the default view is the story view, and you can see that that's the one that's active by the tab up here. I recommend that you never use the story view because you can't see how wide a column is, like where the line breaks are, and you can't see the design. So the two views I recommend you use are the layout view, which shows you exactly what it is. You can see the text, you see the photos, you see where everything is placed. Or if you find that the images and things are too distracting, use the galley view, which is just like the story view, except it shows you the line breaks on the right here. Like this is actually how wide the columns are and how far the text is going. And it also shows you all the stories at once. You can see this is the caption call out, and then this is the body. If you don't want all these tabs open, like if all these different stories is confusing, you can hold down Alt and click here. Come on. Oh, Control. And it'll minimize them all for you, and then collapse them, and you can just expand whatever you want. So like if you're just working on the sidebar, you can just open that and look at it. So I recommend you either use the galley view or the layout view. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't have very fast computers, so one thing you can do in the layout view to speed it up is if you go to View, under the menu bar, under Display Performance, you have some different options. It opens up automatically to typical display, but you can choose Fast Display, which will gray out all the photos and basically makes it a lot faster for moving around. So unless you're writing captions or you're an editor and you need to see the layout to approve it, you could probably always work in the Fast Display, like the listings people. Okay, so now we're in a story. We're on the view that we want. So now we need to check out some text so we can edit it. So if you look in your assignments panel over here, you'll see that there's the body, the caption, sidebar, everything is here. Now you can, if you want, just check out one thing, but I suggest if you're in a file, you might as well just check out everything so you don't have to keep going back and forth to this panel. So the way you do that is you click the assignment, and then there's a couple different things. You can click this little icon down here, which is the head with the check mark, or you can right click and choose checkout, or the third option is not there. oh, I wasn't clicked on it, is checkout. Okay, now if it's the first time you use the program, it's going to ask you to type in a username, so just type in something that makes sense, you know. And then I highly suggest you pick a different color than gold, because then everyone would have the same color and it would be hard to see who did what. And what this color does is it colors like if you type notes, so you'll see, oh, okay, brown, so that was Travis. And you know, you can just pick whatever you want. There's tons of different colors. Okay, so now I have everything checked out, and to know which boxes you can work on, you just see, do you see this little pencil icon in the top left? That means that story you can work in. So I've made all the copy in this accessible, except like this up here, which is, you know, like you would never, have to change it. Okay, but obviously it's kind of hard to read the text, so we need to zoom in. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. Over here on your toolbar is a little magnifying glass, which you can just draw the area you want to zoom into. Or Control plus will zoom you in, and then Control minus will zoom you out. And then there's one other option. If you go up to view again, alright, here, zoom in, zoom out. You can fit the page in the window or the spread, or you can see the actual size. So there you go. Alright, so now you're in at your text, and now you can see it. So now let's talk about the styles, the paragraph styles and the character styles. Now you guys will never be creating the styles. The artists will always have created them, and actually you don't have the ability to create styles in here. But you can still use styles. So if we look at our paragraph styles, as you click around things, this will change. So like if I click up here, I see you see that this is called body intro 5. Okay, so if we look at our styles, you see, like if you click around with your text tool, which is in the toolbar, you see that this is the intro style. Down here we have the body with a drop cap, and then we have body styles. So when would you use this? If you were pouring in a story for the first time and no styles were applied, you would want to apply the styles so you could see how the text fills into the layout, if it's too long or way too short, or you know, just to get a good idea. So hopefully your artist will have created styles for you that make sense so that it's easy for you to apply them. So we have two kinds of styles. We have the paragraph styles, which affect the whole paragraph, and then we have character styles, which just affect the characters you select. So when would you get, so for instance, this drop cap in the bright red, if I select it, you can see that it's the drop cap style. So when would you need to use a character style? Say you have like a magazine title or some title that for style needs to be italicized. So we'll say I'm a magazine here. So what you do is you select it, just like you would in Word. Just you can scroll over it, or you can hold Shift and the arrow keys, and then you just pick body italic, and then it changes. Maybe the font's not this looks like the font's not loaded on this computer, but ideally it will change to italic. I'm not sure why it's not on this computer. I loaded the fonts. And like I know a lot of our books we bold place names or like attractions, so you could do the same thing. Like say this needed to be bolded, you could pick body bold. Yeah, the styles aren't loading, but this would turn to bold if you had the fonts. So maybe that's something else we should talk about, is loading the fonts onto your computer, because every book has different fonts, and most likely you guys will not have the fonts on your computer.